What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. Got my guy Chris be capping here with me today. Yesterday, Chris was a solid, solid day on the show. We smashed the NBA. We hit the WNBA as well. And then I know you left for the MLB, but we hit both games that we went live on the Cap Live. So hopefully we continue going in the right direction, man. Just cashing tickets for the most part. But yeah, man. Yesterday, the NBA Finals is finally over. Season was good. Another profitable season in the books for us. Or I think, well, I'm pretty sure you are, but I know I was. But yeah, man. How did you feel about that? Did you end up taking the stuff that we talked about yesterday in the NBA or not? Because I remember talking about we split it. I split it up first half full game, and then the team total under for the Mavs. All three hit. So that was pretty dope. Like I said on the show, I was like, if this is gonna be the last game, time to go out with a bang, right?
Yeah, you did your thing with that, RC. I think I mean, we did a great job of talking it through and really just knowing that there was a bounce back spot for Boston yesterday. All the trends kind of pointed that way, and like we talked about yesterday, Boston had only lost 2 games in the playoffs, and they bounced back in a big way. And both of them only gave up about 88 points per game. So we saw it come to fruition again last night too. When they playing with that like assertiveness and aggressiveness, and they spacing the floor, rebounding the basketball, picking up defensively. Getting out the shooters is really, really difficult to beat this team when they want to be engaged on the defensive end and they're knocking down shots. And that's what we saw yesterday. So shout out to to Boston for getting it done as we kind of predicted yesterday. On the season, honestly, I got to do a little tweet or something. I did finish well. We finished up about 33, a little over 33 units on the full season, even though it was a slide in the playoffs because we finished 41 units in the regular season and we took a step back. The playoffs were a little difficult. I know you talked about that a little bit off air, but yeah, overall, we made a lot of money this year. I just wish it could have been more. Always greedy, trying to take all the books money,
sure.
but it is what it is, man. We finished in the positive, and WNBA's been green as well so far. So hopefully we can keep going the same direction.
Yeah, man. I think one thing to talk about too is always try to reflect on the handicapping process. I know you've adjusted a lot since we first started talking. I mean, like years ago, right? Like when we first started handicapping, we both had very different styles, and as we go through the process and we start to adjust and we just become better and better. I mean, that's the whole thing is just get better a little bit every single day, right? Every time we go through it. So yeah, it's been dope the last few NBA seasons to stay positive. WNBA as well. Yeah, so hopefully we just transition into WNBA. I mean, obviously we've been betting it, right? And we've been winning. So yeah, it's been great. Hopefully we just continue doing that. Let's get into it though. Let's get into the WNBA. I know we got lucky yesterday because we got it early. But the number mattered yesterday. Let's get to the Sun and the Sparks here. You can go ahead and start first. I'll just get my screen up.
Yeah, I see. So we have what should be a mismatch on paper. What we've been able to see. Don't like the spot for the Sparks. It's crazy how it's only a 40 game WNBA season, and they in the midst of a 7 game road trip. Whoever the
Yeah.
schedule makers were hated the Sparks. So that's pretty bad. I think it's the 4th game of a 7 game road trip.
Yeah.
They've lost the first 3. They did cover against Minnesota, and then of course went to Atlanta and just couldn't score the basketball in the fourth quarter, kind of ran out of gas.
Yeah.
And now they're not in a good situation here, I see, because when I think about the Connecticut Sun, this is a team that's been super consistent. Like on the road, we and you talked about it yesterday, but taking their team total to go over on the road when they're playing against poor defensive teams. And
Yeah.
if you look at the Sparks, they're the second worst defensive team on the road this season, behind only the Indiana Fever. So it's a young team. They turn the ball over a lot. I mean, we'll get into it, but
Yeah.
if you want to stay away from the spread, I definitely think that the team total over, as we kind of talked about on my show earlier this morning, would be the way to look, just to kind of stay away from the spread. We
Yeah.
saw it yesterday. These big spreads now that the lines are getting. I know you probably agree with me, but I'm interested to confirm that you agree, and I'm interested to get your thoughts. But as we get further into the WNBA season, just like any other season, we're going to see sharper lines, and we are a little over a quarter into the WNBA season now. So we're starting to see these double-digit favorites. Teams
Mhm.
that didn't start the season as a double-digit favorite, but now they're laying, instead of laying 8, they're laying 12.5, 13. I think is what we saw with the Lynx yesterday. And they've been kind of relaxing because they've been playing at home against some of these subpar teams. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on, like, if you thought that the lines get sharper as we get more data, and then we could talk about the game.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. I mean, that's with almost every sport. The more data we get, the sharper the lines get, because everybody else gets the same data that we do, right? I mean, they have access to it if they can get it. The other piece is too, like when they transition from NBA to WNBA, a lot of people really focus in on specific sports, and some people might end up, transitioning over, and more bets come into play as well, right? A lot of the DJs that are done with the NBA head over here, regardless of whether they're sharp or not. More bets gives more ammunition to the casinos to be able to make better moves, right, on their line. So as we dive into this game here specifically, we pull up moneyballer.com, just situational notes, the rest advantage here. You mentioned some of the travel fatigue, 4 straight road game here. And the Sun also well rested, right? They haven't played since the 15th. We have some baller systems that are canceling each other out, 1 over 1 under. So I mean, from a total perspective on that, it doesn't really help. But we had the trends here. You can see one thing. I think someone might have mentioned it in your show earlier, but Sun first half has been a strong under, right, off a win at home as a favorite. Strong underplay as far as like trend wise. Nothing too significant here from a spread perspective as far as like trends, like basic trends. Off a loss here, Sparks 3-6 on the first half. We go down here, and I just did the split that you said, right? The second worst defensive rated team on the road, but they're also the second worst offensive rated team on the road as well. So that's one thing to mention as well. I mean, like, as much as crazy as it is that they're double digit dogs after how they've been playing recently. I mean, this really tells a lot. I mean, the one thing to mention here is the Suns' slow pace, but they're also efficient offensively. They create a lot of turnovers. And those are things, extra possessions that gets them those points to get up and over their team total. Because I know we're up and over their team total the last few times together, right, Chris? So we're able to cash on that. The other thing to mention here too, I think we talked about it earlier. Sparks, we pulled Give Me the Dog up. Sparks, when they're double-digit dogs so far this season, up and over their team total in every single game, they've been a double-digit dog. Whether they covered, lost, if the full game went over or under, every single time they went up and over their team total. You talked about the Sun team total over. I was thinking, the Sparks get up and over their team total as well, because I think the Sun, what kind of motivation are they going to have on the defensive side of the ball, other than to continue to be the best in the league, right? Other than that, like, I just feel like, the Sparks, you talked about how low their team total is. I feel like they could just sneak over that 70 half or whatever it is. And to put that together, I was just like, all right, fuck it. Why don't we just take the full game over, right? Because it makes sense. The Sun efficient offensively, Sparks in position to kind of just sneak over their team total. Might as well just put that together and take the full game. And I didn't really want to mess with the side, but I can only look towards the Sun here based on the splits, the home road splits. What are your thoughts on those?
Yeah, I see. So I just wanted to look real quick at the Sun as a home favorite when they're laying double digits, and it looks like they're 1-0, straight up 1-0 against the number. They held the Mystics to 59 points in this spot. So that, and I know they had another game. Yeah, they had another game. I feel like that was a pretty low scoring game too. I can't remember exactly what it was, and they were a home favorite. And I want to say the game might have snuck over. Let's see, real quick.
So this one, they didn't have Shakira or Sykes in this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty tough.
So they've been laying. They started the season. They laid 8.5 against the Mystics as a big number. They didn't cover. The game went over, and then they got the Mercury in here, and this was before the Mercury are the Mercury that they are now. No Brittany Griner, no Rebecca Allen, and the Mercury actually shot the worst percentage from the 3-point line in WNBA history. I remember that. I think they shot 3%, only scored 47 points. That game went under, of course. Then the Wings came to town. That game went under. Mystics came to town. Game went under. But Fever came to town and game went over. Yeah, I agree with everything that you said, RC. We talked about this before, but just the defense on the road for the Sparks, it being a pretty bad spot for them. And the thing about these young teams, because the Sparks are a super young team, you got Cameron Brink over there, you got Rakia Jackson over there. They're a super young team. I think they just go through spurts where they could struggle to score the basketball. Like if they had a 9-point quarter or a 13-point quarter, wouldn't surprise me too much, especially with the Connecticut Sun playing so slow. So that's why I kind of wanted to isolate it just to the Connecticut Sun team total over, because as you mentioned earlier, I do think that LA is going to struggle to turn. I think they're going to struggle with turnovers. They turn the ball over at the highest rate. Connecticut forces the third most turnovers, and they score the most points off turnovers. And they should be able to get whatever it is that they want in the paint as well. So yeah, I think all of those things in totality, along with the situational spot of the rest advantage one day, fourth straight road game versus a team going to be comfortable at home. I just think that the Connecticut Sun will continue to be able to score the basketball. I also kind of feel like this, Isaiah. I'm curious of your thoughts. So Connecticut plays so slow. I think they're branded as this defensive team that plays slow, but they're also fourth in offensive efficiency. So even though they play slow, it kind of reminds me of the Denver Nuggets in the NBA, like with Thomas out there. She just gets the ball to who it needs to be gotten to, and Bree Jones is back. We see Dejounte Carrington playing well. Feels like some of those role players off the bench are playing well. So it kind of feels like that's a hidden gem. Don't tell anybody, but that Connecticut team total over it continues to cash, and the books just keep setting it low because they play so slow.
Yeah. No, I get it. I see what you're saying. It makes a lot of sense. I just feel like it's kind of correlated. I mean, there could be an instance where they just get up and over so high that it doesn't matter what the Sparks do.
It could be a 94 to 63 type game. Yeah. If you had to play the spread, would you lay the points, or would you take the points if you had to play the spread?
I would look towards the Sun. I know it's a big line and all that stuff too, but it's just I can't, based on the split, like I said, based on the splits, the home road splits and all that stuff too, situational spots, the rest advantage, all that, it just all points to the Sun right now. So I can't really look towards the Sparks in this situation. From a matchup perspective too, it just, everything that the Sparks are able to do successfully, they're met by a Sun team that could really limit it, right? So being able to get to the free throw line, Sun don't really send anybody to the free throw line. All these things are really like towards the middle of the pack too, right? Getting offensive rebounds. It's just from a matchup perspective, it seems like Sun check all the boxes to be able to dominate this matchup. But I also feel like, when it gets to that point where they're up double digits in the third, are they going to let off the gas especially on the defensive side of the ball, right? So yeah, I ended up taking the over on this one at 153.5. I feel like, I think it opened at 156 and a half or something like that. So it's come down to a point where I feel comfortable that they can get over that number.
Yeah, I like it.
Anything else on this one?
I just looked at home favorites laying 12 or more in the regular season since the 2020 season, and I think when I looked at this earlier, I added the low total part is always interesting to me. I think it was totals under 160, double digit home favorites in the regular season with a total under 160.
What's it today? This season.
So since 2020, just trying to go back a couple years, home favorites laying double digits, regular season total under 160.
No, I haven't even purchased the WNBA season yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a three. It's only happened 4 times, but it's 3-1 to the over. Well, I'm sorry, 3-1 to the over this season. It's 20-9 to the over. I see in the 29 times that it has happened.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, 69% says that the game.
What was it? Double digit favorites? What?
Double digit home favorites in the regular season with a total below 160.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 20-9 to the over, 69%, 3-1 to the over this season.
So if we go back, you said it doesn't happen too often, right?
Well, only 4 times so far this season.
Gotcha. Okay.
Average total been 156, and it's going over by 6.5 points. So they're getting to about 162.
Majority of that, the margin is in that first quarter too. You see that right there?
Oh yeah, yeah. Home favorite looks like they dominate early.
First quarter, first half.
Mm-hmm. And they
Interesting.
kind of tail off in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
which
they
would also
average,
make sense because the
74.15. This is the past, what, 3 years? 2, 3 years? So,
what you
I
got
mean, that's gonna
2021.
sneak over the team total. It seems like it should be able to. It's just so
Yeah,
low. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Anything
Okay.
else on this one?
No, I think we're good.
Let's move on to the Liberty and the Mercury. All right. All right. So Liberty, Mercury here. I think it's come down to 5. So Liberty has 5-point favorites on the road. I think the total is way up too, right?
171, right?
170,
170
170
and
and
a
a half,
half.
171. I mean, the Liberty have been cruising through the season right now. I think they're on a big win streak right now. I forgot
Eight
exactly what
games,
the number is.
8
8
of them.
games?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they've been winning pretty easy. I mean, I wouldn't say easily, but they've been winning, some dominant, some not too dominant, but they've been getting the job done here. Mercury, obviously, with BG coming back, their offense has been crazy good. They just dominated the Storm, who have been one of the better teams in the league as well. So uh, to me, I'm looking at the Mercury schedule, and it seems like they've been really facing some of the tougher teams in the league lately, right? You have Minnesota here, obviously not Dallas, but Aces, Storm, and then they see Minnesota again. And this is one thing that I was thinking about as far as like, you know, somewhat of a sandwich spot. I know it's a few days away, but you still have two key conference opponents, um, outside between a non-conference team and the Liberty. And then if you look at some of the trends here, both teams doing pretty well in this spot that they're in. Liberty not so well as a favorite though. And if we look at some of the totals, first half under seems like a look there. Um, but I feel like a lot of this has to do with how the Mercury played prior to BG, right? Because if you look at some of the numbers here, and let's just go last four, because we know the first game there was some minutes restrictions and all that stuff. Look at the pace of play that the Mercury is playing with. The Liberty offensively doing pretty well. I just feel like it's a different ball game with BG in the lineup. One thing that I could think of too is how the Liberty can play, how their matchup is with the Mercury. And I'll look at this here real quick. The historic matchups. They won 4 of the last 4. As far as against the Mercury, and it has a lot to do with the matchup. I feel like their bigs are able to pull Griner out of the paint, and that helps shore up some of the some of the players like Laney and obviously Slute's not. I don't think Slute is playing today, right? Slute is out.
She's doubtful. I don't think she's
Doubtful.
gonna play.
So
She's missed like the
yeah,
last 4 games.
but that allows people to attack the paint a little bit, right? And especially Brianna Stewart. If Griner's gonna be on Junko Jones, Junko could pull her out, and Brianna and Benaja Laney could just get into the paint like that.
I was gonna ask you, see who guarding Stewie today?
Who's guarding? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
Like
don't
I
think they
just feel
have a
like they're
matchup
not.
with Stewie.
I feel like
Sophie getting
if you go
cooked.
back down here, where do the Mercury um allow a lot of points? I know obviously Griner's there; she's a great defensive player, but they're still allowing a high percentage in the paint there, and that's what I was talking about. Like if they pull her out, that even gives them more ammunition to get into the paint and get to the free throw line. And they're turning the ball over at a high rate. There's just a lot of things that I could see, especially uh, with Stewie and Jonquil Jones. I just feel like they're going to be able to eat in the paint a lot. And then if not, she could pull Griner out, like I said, and hit the 3 ball and stretch the floor. There's just a lot of things that the Liberty can do, in my opinion. So I don't agree with the line going towards the Mercury. I know they've been playing really well, but I think the Liberty are just playing even better. I think the chemistry is there. I know Sloot is missing, and that's a huge hole for them. But they've been doing pretty well. They just took care of the Aces. the only way that I could look here is Liberty, and I can only look towards the over. Obviously, the line has the total has moved up a lot, but I could still see the over going just as far as like seeing how the pace of play is for the Mercury right now. Just over and Liberty is the way that I would go.
Yeah, this one really had me puzzled. I see this because I think it's gonna be a really good game. Phoenix is clicking on all cylinders since Brittany Griner got back, and I think a lot of it is, I don't even think they're at their best yet because I think they're gonna get even better, as they start to get some chemistry with her. Natasha Cloud has, not been playing super well, but Kalia Copper has been absolutely getting buckets. Then Diana Taurasi's like the wild card in my opinion because she has a little Arike Agumbawale in her as far as the shot selection at times, and it can be it can be good or it can be bad, which makes it difficult for me to want to bet on the Mercury because I feel like in the losses her numbers are terrible. In the wins, her numbers are really really great.
Yeah.
If it's one thing that I can stand on between both offenses and both defenses, I kind of feel like it's the Liberty's defense. Like on the road, they've been, I want to say, the best defensive team in the WNBA. I know Connecticut is number one in a lot of the categories overall, but the Liberty's defense is really, really traveled. They're the best road team in the WNBA so far. So that made me think first half under, like we talked about in the chat this morning, first quarter under as well. And maybe a look towards the Liberty early. They've been the best first quarter team in the WNBA by far, not even close. They're averaging like 26 points per game in the first quarter, where most teams only averaging about 21. But Phoenix, since BG came back, obviously Phoenix is allowing 15 points per first quarter. So their defense has really, really started off well. We saw this against the Aces the other day. Aces only had like 12 points to like 28 or 29. They were getting smoked, even though they came back and won. And then they did the same thing to the Storm the other day too. Like that game was over with pretty much from the first quarter because the defense kind of neutralized what the Storm wanted to do. And that to me feels a little scary to want to bet against the Mercury in this spot. So
Yeah.
With the pace that you're talking about that the Mercury are playing with, that makes me think over. But when I think about the Liberty and how well they've been playing defense, that makes me think more towards the under. So I'm kind of all over the board with this one, RC. Not really
Look at
feeling
this because
confident.
you look at the splits here, the home road splits. Mercury number one in offensive rating in the league at home, which is to me, and then Liberty number two offensive rating on the road. Pace of play picks up at home as well. First. Maybe I should have focused in on the team total versus the side and the total separately.
The Liberty team total over, right?
It could have, yeah, exactly.
86 and a half minus 110, I see.
Yeah, because their
also see
defense
87 and a half too.
Yeah, their defense still struggles there. Man, that and
who is
seeing
that?
this too, like
the Mercury defense?
What was that?
You said the defense still struggles. You're talking about the Mercury.
Yeah. Mercury's defense still struggles. So Liberty,
they give up 100 points to the Aces.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think this gives me a little bit of pause, or not pause, but like it concerns me a little bit as far as spread goes. But this helps a lot for taking the full game over. I know the Liberty's defense has been solid, but man, pace of play, being able to score efficiently, you can't. I can only look towards the over. But the defense right here is what helps me and keeps me staying with the Liberty here. The other things too. I mean, the Mercury's defense not great in transition. They should be able to push the ball. So that helps too with the over and the Liberty taking over that. So I still can. That's the only way I can look right now. I think.
Can we look at the last few games for the Mercury? I just want to see how
on the side or just. I mean,
just like their defense. I want to see the Liberty the Mercury defensive rating since BG came back.
So
it's been like what, 4 games? And I know the first game she came back, it was like an overtime game against the Wings.
Yeah, so I did 4 games.
Okay. So 103.4. So it's a little bit better. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at the schedule, though, I mean,
they got the Lynx up next, right?
Yeah. They have Sparks.
They got the Aces.
Minnesota. No, they got Sparks. That's the Sparks.
Oh yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah,
Yeah,
Sparks.
that's
Yeah,
Sparks
yeah.
and
No
then
look
Giants.
ahead
So
spot. Yeah.
much more important game. Mercury had it. Yeah. What? So yeah, like I said, Liberty and over is the only way I could look. Is there any certain way you're looking at this one?
I I guess it's Liberty team total over based on what we just saw.
Yeah, makes a lot of
Seems
sense.
like that seems like that makes the most sense, especially if the Mercury gonna continue to play with pace.
Hmm.
Liberty, one of the most, I think they're number one in offensive rating, just like over the season, and that's even without. Honestly, I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like their offense has gotten better since Courtney Vandersloot has been missing. like,
It's crazy. Yeah, no, I believe it though. I believe it though. Here's one more thing that we didn't mention earlier. That above the break three, fourth in attempts, sixth in the field goal percentage, and the Mercury defense above the break three
dead last,
is third to last. So
third to
kind of
last, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, third to last.
exactly. So man, that could be another angle there, and that kind of
Sabrina
correlates
threes,
with John Quell being able to pull BG out too.
yeah, Sabrina threes, maybe
Sabrina three, yep,
Benajelani,
exactly. Yep. I like it.
Benajelani Hamilton,
I
yeah,
like it. All
okay.
right. Prop perspective, anything specific that pops out to you?
I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but if BG's going to be, and I'm pretty sure she is, if she's going to be guarding Jocko Jones, then I think it's a big Stewie game. I don't even know what her points prop is, but
Yeah.
I think she's the one that continues to play, with force and get downhill. I think
Yeah.
she'll be the one that should be able to collect all of the rebounds with BG being pulled out to the to the 3-point line as well. So I'll probably be looking towards her points prop if I was looking at anything, but I didn't
What
play
about
too much on
PRA
it.
if they're gonna run through her?
I don't. She kills me sometimes with how unaggressive she is on the offensive end. RC, that's
Yeah.
always the thing. Don't you feel like Stewie can? She reminds me a little bit of KD because it feels like she can go average 50 if she wanted to. Well, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say 50, but she can average like 35. But
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
like tries to make the right play. Tries to get everybody involved. She's too unselfish, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and
Yeah.
that
Not
that always kills me with the points, rebounds, and assists. But I mean, it seems like they're trying to send message to the WNBA, and I mean, they're doing a really good job right now. Real quick, let me see what her points prop is. It is just straight points. She is um where is she? Where is she? Stewie. She's sitting at 19 and a half right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 19.
19 and a half. I feel like she could
19
hit
and a
that.
half.
Yeah.
Me too, especially with the pace of play, like you just talked about. Because
Yeah.
that's the one thing I hadn't really checked in too much on was how the Mercury been playing as far as pace wise. I know that their offensive numbers have been a lot better since BG came back, but I
Yeah.
hadn't really checked on the pace. But yeah, makes a
Got
lot
it.
of sense. Okay.
All right, that's it for the W, Chris. I know you're not doing MLB right now, but I usually do live capping MLB right after WNBA. You could definitely stick around if you want to. But I know this is normally the time you drop off. Did you wanna stay on or do you wanna head out? It's up to
Yeah, no,
you.
I'm
You
dipping
gonna peace
us.
out?
Yeah, I ain't diving into the MLB yet, but I'll be
Yeah.
on here with you
Are you
soon.
gonna are you gonna
We can
get
do
there?
some.
Are you gonna get to
Yeah,
MLB?
I'll get there. Yeah, I'll get there.
Okay.
Especially with the WNBA only having a couple games a day. Sometimes only one game. So yeah, I'll get there with you with the MLB soon. But yeah, I'll just leave with this. I think going back to just the best bet for the show. I think going back to the first game, Connecticut team total over. Already talked about the Sparks being second worst defensive team on the road. I think that they're going to turn the ball over a lot. Connecticut should be able to dominate. In points off turnovers. I think they get a lot of points in the paint as well.
Mm-hmm.
With the Sparks not having a lot of bigs outside of Hamby. So yeah, I think Connecticut asserts themselves early, and I like their team total to go over. Number is 83 and a half, I think is what it
Yeah.
is. And also agree with your full game over as well.
I think I'm gonna rock with you on that team total too. I'll just add it to my card.
Okay.
All
Hey,
right,
best of
dope.
luck,
All right,
RC.
appreciate it, Chris.
All
Hopefully,
right,
I
bro.
will get you on
Absolutely.
again soon.
Absolutely.
All right, bro. Peace.
All right, bro.
All right, let's get into some MLB live capping here. Drop any games here, and then we'll kind of dive into them. I think so. Chris actually used his link today. So for those who are new to Let's Cap, we typically dive into MLB games live on the show. Just drop a couple games and we'll look into them. If you guys like the show so far, using the moneyballer.com, all these things, you can head over to my channel and on the days that Chris don't pop in. Let's see here. Any MLB games you guys want to see? Yeah, of course, Yankees. All right, let's go Yankees for us out here. All right, so Yankees favored here at home, minus 150 ish. Total at 9. You got Suarez versus Cortez. Looks like the rating system likes the Orioles today. Let's dive into the schedule here. First game at home, back after pretty long road trip there. Baltimore played Philly, 1-2 in a row, and Boston took care of business here. So they lost 2 out of the 3 for Boston. Let's look at the last 5 starts. Suarez, 5 in the third. Been pitching pretty well, right? Like in recent form, last few starts. He sticks around the 5-inning mark though, so we're gonna see a pretty big bullpen showing here. Cortez, 7 innings in his last one. Did he pitch on? Okay, 7 innings there. Gave up 6 hits, 2 earned runs. Seems like a short rest. So let's look at the splits. Full season seems like an under spot for Suarez. Seems like a lot of unders here. Let's actually pull 30 days, last 30 days. So still unders. From a side perspective, nothing significant. This continues to pop out for the Yankees, but I think that it's starting to slow down a little bit. But versus right-handed pitchers in the first 5 has been a look for the Yankees for a while. This kind of pops out here. Orioles versus left-handed pitchers in the first 5 in the last 30 days have been unders. And it's mainly because of Suarez, I think. All right, so let's look at the bats here. I would say pretty even as far as the bats go. Both a lot of power. Speed goes to the Orioles. Yankees are striking out at a little bit of a higher rate there. Starting pitching matchup. I mean, this is just screaming negative regression here. He's not a strikeout pitcher either. Cortez, pretty consistent there last 30. Bullpen goes to the Orioles, though. Bullpen definitely goes to the Orioles. So even if he has a short outing, he's in good hands. Man, this one's tough. But this is telling me that the Yankees might get to Suarez in this game. What about, man? I'm wondering if he's getting lucky here in these unders. Who do you face? Atlanta, Toronto, Tampa. Oh, you know what? This is screaming negative regression. I think this is I would say first 5 over, or even Yankees first 5 team total over. That would be the way that I go. What's the line? 152. Yeah, if I was to play this game, it would be first 5 over or Yankees team total first 5 over. Avoid the bullpen. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yankees. All right, let's go on to a different one. Who is next? Royals and A's. Boston, Toronto, Cubs, Giants. Cubs, Giants. I see Cubs, Giants multiple times. All right, let's go to that one. Cubs, Giants. So we have the Cubs is favored at home. Webb versus Steele. Man, Steele is still 0-3. The rating system does like the Giants here. Looking at the schedule, it's funky. I mean, they've been at home. They're on the road here. Left-handed pitchers. Let's look at all right, let's look at last 5 starts. Webb gave up. He's been consistently giving up hits and runs. 6 innings in the last one here. He doesn't walk a lot of people, though. All right, so still good outing here. 6 innings pitched. This is interesting. Against the Reds. Okay, so give up 3. Let's look at the splits here. 1-4 for Steele, but the only time he was a home favorite, he was 1-0. Is he still a home favorite? I mean, not necessarily. I think it's like really even. All right, so this pops out right away versus right-handed pitchers. 7-13-2 in the first 5. You see the Giants versus left-handed pitchers in the first 5. 6-3-1. Okay, so if we go to the bats, I mean, it's just Giants. Giants offense sticks out. The hard hit rate is pretty solid there for the Cubs. So when they do get contact, I mean, they can hit pretty hard. They're just not translating into runs. Striking out at a little bit of a higher rate. Barrel rate is not that strong. Okay, so starting pitchers, both of them pretty nice. Both pretty nice. If anything, a little bit of negative regression on Steele's side. Bullpen definitely to the Giants, but it's not like they're that great either. All right, so what was the trends here? First 5 Giants. I would look towards Giants the first 5. Kind of following these trends here. Also seeing that there's potential for negative regression on Steele as well. And then trusting the Giants bats a little bit more than the Cubs. So if I was to bet this one, it would be Giants in the first 5. I mean, their bullpen's not that great either, though. What is the line at now? 105. I agree with which way the line is moving. I think it's either first 5 or the full game. Either way, I can only look towards the Giants here. I don't like their bullpen or their offense right now. All right. Looking at Nerfy for that game. I mean, so Nerfy with Steele is 5-0. So if you like a Nerfy, you're back in Steele there. Toasty, appreciate you popping in here. First 5 under in Wrigley. Makes sense. I think that. I mean, that's a good look too. What's the total at? 9.5. Oh yeah, that's a lot of runs. Okay, yeah. First 5 would be what? 5. Cubs, yeah, 5. Okay. It's kind of juiced to the under 2 though. Yeah. All right. So I would think Giants first 5 or the full game there. I would think first 5 better than the full game though. All right, let's move on to the next one. Twins, Tampa. Braves, Tigers. Twins and Tampa. I think this is one game that I actually bet. Let's go to Minnesota. All right, so Minnesota minus 164 at home. We got Lopez versus Savali. Righty versus righty. Our rating system really likes the Twins today. Schedule wise, they both have rest going into this one. They've been at home. They're coming from Atlanta. 8-6 win, 8-7-6. Okay. Last 5 starts here. 5 2/3. 1 earned run. Giving up home runs at both of these guys giving up home runs at a high rate. I feel like Lopez was pretty strong to start the season. He kind of tailed off. 6 walks. Jesus. So his control is off right now. Let's look at the splits. This pops out right away. 0-5 in the last 30 days. This is interesting. First 5 over for Lopez. This tells me his offense is backing him right now. He's getting a lot of run support. This pops out right away versus right-handed pitchers. First 5, 4-14. 1-4 as road dogs versus right-handed pitchers here. 7-3 on the full game. The offense is definitely supporting. So Twins offenses really have a significant advantage here. The barrel rate and hard hit rate is solid. Seeing the ball really well. Pitching matchup. So this is this. Let me pull up the full season real quick because I feel like Lopez was pretty good to start the season. Yeah. All right. So Lopez, if you pull up the full season numbers, there's definitely that room right there for that positive regression. I feel like that's in a situation where he's facing a team that's not really playing well offensively. This could be the spot that turns things around for him. And then the bullpen to the Twins too. I would only be able to look towards the Twins here. Let me just double check. And more so probably the full game more than the first 5. Probably the run line too. I see what you're saying, Toasty, but man, this is if there's any spot to turn things around, this is the one. Let's look at who they faced, right? Lopez in Colorado, faced New York, Texas. That's different. But yeah, so I mean, like, I just feel like he's been in tough situations. So I would look towards Twins or nothing. 50-50 Twins. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I have time for one more. Let's see. Okay, Dodgers Rockies. I see that a couple times. Last one. Dodgers Rockies. All right, so Rockies plus 160 at home. We have the rating system likes the Dodgers here. All right, so LA won yesterday 9-5. They've been at home for a little bit. Okay. And so Bueller's last 5 starts, he's been giving up some home runs and some runs and some hits. Only 5 innings pitched in his last one. Okay. Gomber gave up 8. Damn. He's been giving up a lot of runs too. Only pitched 3 innings though. All right, so if we look at the splits, let me pull last 30 again. Neither of these guys doing too well. This pops out right away. Dodgers versus left-handed pitchers, 7-1. What's the line at? Okay, this is juiced. 7-1. On the run line in the last 30 days, they're only 11-16. So not really dominating or anything. For those who do Nerfy Yerfies 3-1 on the Yerfy Gomber 4-0. So that's probably one way to look there. Dodgers offense advantage here. I mean, they're averaging the same amount of runs, but I'm just assuming it's because obviously they have games at home, a lot more games at home. They're not seeing the ball well, not walking a lot, and striking out at a high rate. Starting pitchers, Jesus. Both of these guys struggling right now. All right. And the Rockies bullpen struggling. I mean, how do we not take a Dodgers team total over or something like that? What is that? Dodgers team total over 6.5. I mean, I just can only see runs on the Dodgers side. 4.5. Because if they get to the book, yeah. This would be a Dodgers run line maybe, or Dodgers team total over. That would be the way that I go on this one. All right, let's move on. All right, so that's it for the MLB. Live capped a few games. Yesterday went really well. We hit the Reds game under. We also hit the Red Sox and the Red Sox team total over. So hopefully we continue seeing the board well, both in the WNBA and in the MLB. Let me stop my screen here. And just real quick, I want to make sure everyone knows about themoneyballer.com, pretty much the website that we use primarily today. It is free until the end of July. So definitely check that out. It's basically what you saw here, all the comprehensive insights, easy to use on a single page, profitable, situational spots, trends, full season, 30 days, last 14. You got the advanced splits like home road, and advanced metrics and all that stuff. So we're really trying to make it a one-stop shop for your data and, actionable insights. I mean, before this, I was using like 6, 7, 8, whatever sources to pull all this information. And now it's, majority of it is here on a single page. So check out themoneyballer.com. Like I said, it's free until the end of July. Some of the features are a paid feature though, the baller access, like the rating system and the WNBA model projections that we're going to be pushing out pretty soon here. And also the WNBA page will be having an overhaul too. We're going to change up how it looks. And that should be within the next couple of days. So with that said, let's move on to the top looks of the day. Then when it goes to the WNBA, I do like the Liberty and the Sun over. Liberty and the Mercury game over. I know it shifted a lot. I think it's up to like 170, but I still think that the pace of play is there, and both teams really playing well offensively. Should be able to get over 170. And then in the MLB, I do like. Let me go over my plays real quick. I'll drop you with two because we already talked about one that I did bet. I did bet the Twins on the run line, and then I also like the Reds money line as well. Red Sox money line. So Red Sox took care of us yesterday. Hopefully they get back and take care of it again today. With that said, guys, that's the end of the show. If you like what you see here, definitely share it with your friends. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And as always, I have to end with this. Whether you fade us or follow us, it's on you to make that call. Good luck with all your actions. Till next time. Peace.